In the last couple days, I've landed on a plan to start my fiction career. My background is in dramatic writing. I wrote 6 sermons, the Audible original starring Stephanie Hsu, and now I am pursuing fiction for the first time in my life. I had an idea for a book. I thought I was going to launch right into that. I've decided instead that I want to start with short stories. It gives me more creative freedom, and professionally, I think it's actually going to get me to where I want to be faster. So this plan is what I want to share with you today. And in making it, I wanted to put together something super concrete, super clear, super step by step, wax on, wax off that I could follow, that I knew with some degree of confidence would eventually get me to where I want to be, which is a working professional fiction writer, writing, selling books, writing, selling short stories. And so to find that path, I went looking from the pros. And I took a class with Stephen Barnes, the Afrofuturist, and his partner, Tananarive Due. I took a workshop from Douglas Smith, the prolific Canadian short story writer. And from them, I've put together this plan. The first part of the plan is to write 1 sentence a day. What that means to me is to sit down and write every day. It doesn't matter if I get in a lot. The key right now for me is to be building habits. I need systems. I need habits. Those are the things that are actually going to determine whether or not I succeed in becoming a fiction writer. Is, can I make a life? Can I construct a life in which I'm writing every day? It's almost like that's the one question, because if I do sit down to write every day, I will be writing enough, which brings me to the second part of my plan, which is to write 2 stories a month. I think if I sit down to write every day, 2 short stories a month is a realistic goal for me. I'm including flash fiction in this. Anything that I can send out counts. The third part of the plan is to send these stories to market. It's not enough just to finish them. It's not enough to have a long Word document with a dozen short stories. I have to take the step. I have to find the courage to reach a point of completion with each of these stories that I feel confident and proud enough to send it out into the world, to send it out to a decision maker, an editor, someone with money to buy this story and then print it for others to read. That is the third part of this strategy. So with that, with sending to market comes a lot of know-how that I still don't really have. Who to send to, where to send to, licensing, reprints, first license, second license. These are things that I learned a little bit about from Douglas Smith, but I need to know more. But to share the basic principles that I at least intend to apply moving forward, I want to send it to the top markets first. I want to send it to the best magazines first. Take a crack at the best before moving down to mid-tier, lower paid markets. I want to stay organized. I need to make a big spreadsheet indicating where I send a story, how many words each story has, what dates it was rejected from when, and I need to make sure to ask for all the rights that I can so that I can reprint these stories, sell them in other foreign languages, that kind of thing. That's the cliff notes of where I'm at so far in understanding what the selling process is like. There's more to learn there, but I wanted to share those quick hits. The fourth piece of my plan is to not rewrite except upon editorial request. I need to trust the work that I did. This doesn't mean that I'm sending out a first draft, but I need to trust the product that I finished, the story that I wrote, send it out, and not be kind of mixing and matching it and rehashing it for 4 months while I'm working on other stories. Write the story, finish it, send it, start writing another story. The idea here is that I'll be writing so many stories and getting so many rejections, and I'll just be in this cycle, in this groove, that nothing will be too precious. It'll all be about process, generating new work, getting it out there. And I won't get locked down, on a story that I'm in love with, but won't get accepted anywhere. Trust that one day it will sell. Keep moving, keep on to the next story. And that actually brings me to number 5, which is once you've put a story out into market, keep it in the market. Keep it in the market until it sells. Both those teachers, Stephen Barnes and Douglas Smith, seasoned professionals, they've had stories that they talked about. It took 80 times before it reached a home, found a place for it to live. And so that's another part of the process, keeping that story out into the ether until it finds its place to land, its public to reach. These are my goals. And then the 6th thing that I added to this list is have faith. And for me, that just means this might take a long time. It might take a long time to start selling stories. It might take even longer to sell lots of stories. And for me, it's a matter of believing in myself as a writer, as an artist, as a person, that I have things to say, that I can always be getting better, and that I will provide the kind of stories that the world wants to read. If you want to keep up with them, subscribe to this channel. I'll be documenting the whole ride.